Welcome back to our new video, that is MCQs on biochemistry, and this is the part 2 of this series of videos on MCQs on biochemistry. So the first question of this video is the proteins which yield amino acids on hydrolysis are known as option A conjugated protein, option B derived protein, option C simple protein, or option D all of these. And the right answer is option C, that is simple protein. So the protein which yield amino acids on hydrolysis are known as simple proteins. Okay, so next question देखेंगे. So next question is the correct sequence of complete hydrolyzed protein is option A proteins, then proteases, then peptones, then polypeptides, dipeptides, and at last amino acids, or option B, that is proteins, peptones, polypeptide, proteases, dipeptides, and then amino acid, or option C proteins, amino acids, peptones, polypeptides, dipeptides, proteases, and option D, that is proteins, polypeptides, dipeptides, amino acids, then proteases, then peptones. And the right sequence of the complete hydrolysis of protein is option A, that is first protein, then proteases, then peptones, then polypeptides, then dipeptides, at last amino acids. So this is the correct sequence of complete hydrolyzed proteins. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, that is question number 23. So DCMU, that is dichlorophenyl methyl urea, also called diuron, a potent herbicide, stops option A evolution, option B non-cyclic photophosphorylation, option C A and B both, or option D, that is oxidative photophosphorylation. And the right answer is option B, that is non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So DCMU, that is dichlorophenyl methyl urea, also called diuron, a potent herbicide, stops non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay, so next question क्या है? Question number 24. The reaction where nucleophilic attack by water molecule cleaves amide, ester, or glycosidic bonds of bipolar is referred as nucleolysis, or hydrolysis, or glycolysis, or option D esterification. And the right answer is option B, that is hydrolysis. So the reaction where nucleophilic attack by water molecule cleaves amide bond, ester bond, or glycosidic bonds of biopolymer is referred as hydrolysis. Okay, so next question देखेंगे. So next question is, which one of the following is the smallest known protein? And the options are option A insulin, option B hemoglobin, option C immunoglobulin, or option D albumin. And the right one is option A, that is insulin. So insulin is the smallest known protein among these proteins. Okay, so the next question is, the end product of a protein is always a mixture of proteases, peptones, polypeptides, or amino acids. And the right answer is option D, that is amino acids. So the end product of a protein is always a mixture of amino acids. Okay, so next question देखेंगे. So next question is, the electrostatic interaction between oppositely charged groups between biomolecules or within it is noted as electronic bond, non-covalent bond, salt bridges, or none of above. And the right answer is option C, that is salt bridge. So the electrostatic interaction between oppositely charged groups are known as salt bridges. Okay, so move on to the next question, that is, under alkaline conditions DNA is more stable than RNA because RNA forms secondary structures. Option B, RNA is a single stranded molecule. Option C, RNA has uracil in place of thymidine. Or option D, that is RNA is susceptible to hydrolysis. And the right answer is option D, that is RNA is susceptible to hydrolysis. So under alkaline condition, DNA is more stable than RNA because RNA is susceptible to hydrolysis. So move on to the next question, that is question number 29. That is formation of a protein is a type of option A dehydration analysis, option B hydration analysis, option C dehydration synthesis, option D hydration synthesis, and the right answer is option C, that is dehydration synthesis. So formation of a protein is a type of dehydration synthesis. Okay, so next question is, in which of the following processes eukaryotic mitochondria is known to be least involved? So the options are option A ATP production, apoptosis, tricarboxylic acid cycle, or fatty acid biosynthesis, and the right answer is option D, that is fatty acid biosynthesis. So in fatty acid biosynthesis, which is a process in eukaryotic mitochondria, is known to be least involved among this all. So fatty acid biosynthesis is least known or involved by mitochondria, but other, that is ATP production, apoptosis and TCA cycle, all are occurred in mitochondria. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, that is question number 31. So that is ZDNA helix is the primary form in any living organism or is favored by any alternating GC sequence or tends to be formed at 3' end of genes, or option D, that is formation is inhibited by methylation of bases, and the right answer about the ZDNA helix is option B, that is ZDNA helix is favored by an altering GC sequence. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. That is the hydrolysis of phosphodiester bond in RNA and DNA is feature of isomerases or nucleases or hydrolysis or epimerase. So the right answer is option B, that is nucleases. So the hydrolysis of phosphodiester bond in RNA and DNA is the feature of nucleases. So next question देखेंगे. Next question is, the enzyme action is best measured by noting the option A disappearance of the substrate, option B increase in alkalinity of the solution, option C sharp rise in temperature of the solution, option D color changes that accompany the reaction, and the right answer is option A, that is disappearance of the substrate. So enzyme action is best measured by noting the disappearance of the substrate. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. That is, which one of the following has isoenzymes? And the options are lactic dehydrogenase, or option B hexokinase, option C citrate synthase, option synthetase, and option D aldolase. And the right answer about the isoenzymes, that is option B, that is hexokinase. So hexokinase has a isoenzymes. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, that is question number 35. So beta oxidation pathway of fatty acid oxidation resembles option A Krebs cycle, option B glycolysis, option C ETS, that is electron transport chain, or option D, that is Kelvin cycle. So the right answer is option B, that is glycolysis. So beta oxidation pathway of fatty acid oxidation resembles glycolysis. Okay, so next question here. Choose the correct statement, and the options are option A starch is more soluble than glycogen, option B glycogen is more soluble than starch, option C both are equally soluble, or option D starch and glycogen are insoluble entities, and the right answer is option B, that is glycogen is more soluble than starch. So move on to the next question, that is those fatty acids which show fluidity are long chain length and saturated, or option B short chain length only, or option C short chain length and is unsaturated, or option D highly saturated. And the right answer is option A, that is long chain length and saturated. So those fatty acids which show fluidity are long chain length and saturated. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, that is question number 38. So which among the following assumption is authentic about acid and bases? And option A is assumption 1, that is acids are proton donor while bases are proton acceptor, or assumption 2, that is acids are proton acceptor while bases are proton donor, or assumption 3, that is acids and bases both are proton acceptor, or option D, that is all are wrong. And the right answer is option A, that is assumption 1 is the correct one. So acid are proton donor while bases are proton acceptor. Okay, so let's move on to the question number 39, that is which of the following statement is not true in case of oxidative rancidity of fatty acid food or fatty food? And option A is peroxides and hydroperoxides are formed during autooxidation, or option B, that is autooxidation is a complex chain reaction, or option C, that is the final breakdown of product of autooxidation are aldehyde, ketones and alcohols, or option D, the reaction is brought about by an enzyme called LAPS. So the right answer is option D, that is, so here we have to choose the statement which is not true in case of oxidative rancidity of fatty foods. So the not true statement, that is the option D, that is the reaction is brought about by an enzyme called LAPS. Okay, so let's move on to the last question of this video, that is in the following enzyme catalyzed reaction which follows Michaelis-Menten kinetics? And this is the equation, and here we have asked that Km is equal to option A, that is K minus 1 by divided by K1 minus K2, or option B, that is K1 into K2 by K minus 1, or K1 slash K2 plus K minus 1, or option D, that is K2 plus K minus 1 divided by K1. So which one follows the Michaelis-Menten kinetics? So the right answer is option D, that is K2 plus K minus 1 by K1. So this is the correct equation or reaction which follows Michaelis-Menten kinetics. Okay, so these are all 20 questions of this part 2 video on biochemistry. Okay, so thank you for watching this video.